In the heart of the Chihuahuan Desert lies a jewel that most have never heard, let alone come to visit. What was once a reef growing beneath the waters is now the highest point in all of Texas. Adventure Girl takes on her most challenging journey yet, ascending Guadalupe Peak.
Good morning. We woke up at 6:30 and came out here, and sunlight hit and it was gorgeous. It was so pretty. We're at Guadalupe Mountains National Park, and right there is El Capitan, and just over that ridge is Guadalupe Peak that we will be hiking today. The sunlight coming up is gorgeous. Hiking up to the top of Guadalupe Peak is going to be amazing. So we just got done seeing El Capitan, and let me tell you, if you don't go in the morning on sunrise, you're missing out, because it was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. Hiking along the base of El Capitan, I'm confident in our abilities to get to the top of Guadalupe Peak. So now we're going to go back, get breakfast, and start our journey up Guadalupe Peak.
I'm cooking a bacon, egg, and cheese breakfast skillet right now. It's a freeze-dried food, which I like using freeze-dried foods whenever I need to make food real fast and lightweight and on the go. I use them backpacking a lot. I'm boiling my water with the jet boil right now, and I like the jet boil a lot. There's other equally good stoves out there, but jet boil, cook it in 2 minutes. You can have 2 cups of water boiled, and also doubles as a coffee cup, and so you kind of save on space. You don't have to have a whole kitchen with you, especially if you're just doing freeze-dried foods. You can eat those right out of the pouch. They're pretty convenient. These Mountain House freeze-dried meals are pretty good. You can get a variety of things. How else could you have lasagna when you're out in the middle of nowhere? But one recommendation I have is to use a slightly less water than they suggest on the package. Whenever I use their recommended 1 cup or 2 cups or however much it is, it always ends up being a little soupy, so I end up with a bunch of egg water at the end of it, which isn't as appetizing as it could be. I always try and get a good breakfast in whenever I'm going to have a good hike. You got to keep up your calorie intake when you're burning so many calories. I've never been out to the desert before, so I'm really curious about how today's going to go. A little nervous, but really excited also. Uh, Everything's beautiful so far, so I'm thinking it's going to be a good day. And with my meal cooking in the bag, I can pack up my camp stove and take it over and get ready for the day.
Hi, this is Becca Wyatt from American Adventures, and you're watching Backpacking with Becca. Alright, so we're at the Pine Springs campsite, about to hike up Guadalupe Peak, and right through here is our trail. And then once we get all the way over here, it's Guadalupe Peak, about over 8,700 feet.
So you ready to do everything here?
Yeah, I'm excited about doing this 8.4 mile hike.
Have you ever done anything like that before?
No, this will be an adventure for both of us.
Definitely. Do you have enough water?
Yes, we've got enough water, we've got snacks packed, first aid, we're ready.
How long do you think it's going to take?
I think it's going to take about 7 hours or more.
We have to get started soon because the sun won't last. So.
Yep. Before the hike, we checked in at the visitor center. The visitor center is a great place to start your adventure. You can pick up the park's maps and receive valuable information from park rangers. But for me, the most exciting activity is stamping my National Parks passport. Today, we're going to be hiking the Guadalupe Peak Trail, which is about 8.4 miles. It should take us about 6 hours to get there, and it's roughly 8,700 feet above sea level. We're hoping that it's not too windy when we get to the top. They say that the winds can reach up to 40 miles per hour, and it could be quite chilly, but we'll see when we get up there. At the Guadalupe Peak trailhead, we sign the trail log and weighed our day packs. Finally, it was time for the American Adventures ambassadors to trek towards the summit of Guadalupe Peak. Along the many trails of Guadalupe Mountains National Park, you can see the transformation from desert to mountain. The 3,000-foot incline began immediately. The first third of our trail climbs 2,000 feet.
I've never been on a hike quite as beautiful as this. The reason I say that is because there's no trees to stop you from seeing for miles and miles in every direction. It's just one long scenic vista. Most of where I've been backpacking is in Shenandoah National Park or in the Ozarks, and there's just trees everywhere, which is beautiful, but it stops you from seeing a vista but every few miles. Here it's non-stop, just seeing everything.
In the mountain high country thrive thrives a dense forest of ponderosa pines. Along the trail, the sights were inspiring, and we had to take frequent stops to take in the beautiful vistas. Guadalupe Mountains preserves the rugged spirit and remote wilderness of the American West. Becca Wyatt with American Adventures, and you're watching Backpacking with Becca.
The third?
Alright, so we just got done with our 2/3 of our way up. The first third was a hard elevation climb. We're about to take a break, have some lunch right now.
I thought it was pretty tough. I hadn't walked that hard for that many hours in a long time.
I didn't even know I could do that. I can't believe I made it. But it was worth it so far.
There were quite a few times where we turned and we thought that we were there, and then go around the corner and we had to keep on going.
Yeah, on the first eighth of it, I thought that it was about to be over. We just didn't even see the beginning.
It
Oh,
was
yes.
definitely tough. Definitely not easy.
For lunch, we have our awesome jet boil. We're gonna boil some water in here and try to get some soup going.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
This thing will heat up that water quickly.
What'd that ranger tell us? The first third of the hike was 2/3 of the elevation climb.
Yes.
Is that right? Is that what he said?
And I believe him. That was tough.
Yeah, it got better, but by the time we were done with that,
Shit, that backside was cake compared to
yeah, if I could start halfway,
Yeah.
I'd be fine. I'd do it every day, there all the time.
All the switchbacks.
Yeah, the switchbacks, I mean, it was intense. It felt like an endless amount of stairs. You're just walking.
I forget about how hard some of that was.
And windy and cold.
And was it windy at the top?
So in episode 1, I'm thinking about Guadalupe again. Would you make it again?
I would do it
I
again.
would do it again. Oh yeah. I'll be a little bit more prepared this time.
Leave a little
Woo,
early.
work out a little bit
little
more
earlier.
before that trip.
Yeah. Take it a little
More
slower.
breaks.
Oh, I said that this jet boil's awesome. It has a little temperature gauge right here to let you know when it's heated up.
Yellow to orange.
Yes. Guadalupe Peak, 8,749 feet. We did it. The last part of the hike up was very hard, yet very, very exciting. We had a few times where all I could think of was just keep moving, just keep moving. And then when we got to the top, the accomplishment was overwhelming. All right, so we just got done Guadalupe Peak Trail. It took us about 6 hours to complete it. When they say strenuous, they were not lying. The first third of it was pretty dang hard. A lot of climbing up steps, lifting your legs up high. Once you got past the first third, the next part was trails, and it was pretty good, smooth sailing after that. When you got to the top, it was pretty windy when you got up there and pretty chilly, but you can't beat that view once you're at the top. It is gorgeous up there. The whole way there, my emotions were, I was pretty excited and pretty nervous the whole time, but more excited about everything and completing the whole thing. We were quite excited when we got to the top of the trail. There's a beautiful pyramid at the top and a guest book that you can sign saying that you made it, and it was one of the most amazing things I think I've ever done. When I got down to the bottom, my legs were pretty tired, my shoulders were a little sore, but nothing for adventure, girl.
Well, we made it.
We did.
I can't believe that it was that long, but it was worth it.
It was about 7.5 hours total time.
I guess so. I don't even know what's going on more now.
Once you got up there and you just sat down for about 10 seconds, it was amazing. It was one of the coolest things that I've ever accomplished, for sure.
That's a good word. It just feels like an accomplishment when you get up to the top.
We were one of the first 3.
Well, Dee and Becca
Yeah.
went ahead of me a little bit. I was kind of took my own pace on the way home. So.
All I wanted to do was get down.
Well, y'all make about 15 minutes in front of me, I guess.
Yeah.
So I got up to the top of the mountain first. I was our pace setter. And man, it was pretty awesome at the top. I just laid down at the monument at the peak and set my backpack behind my head and got a little 5-minute rest with my feet up like I was lounging in the living room. It was pretty awesome.
The one thing that I would have to say about Guadalupe Peak Trail was I underestimated how difficult it was going to be. And anytime you come up to a national park sign and the trail says strenuous, just believe it. I've been on a few trails where it said that the hike was strenuous and it wasn't at all, but this one was really tough, and it whooped me pretty good.
Hi, this is Becca Wyatt. We're at the Great Sand Dunes National Park in Colorado. Be sure to check out the next episode of Backpacking with Becca.